thing. Now, they might not think it's a big deal, and I agree with them. It's not a big deal, but it doesn't mean that it's not stupid. Just because it's not a big deal doesn't mean that it's not stupid. Steam are refunding now. You can see it in the review comments as refunded products and comments on the community page confirming refunds. Let's take a look at that, okay? I'm going to go back and forth. Stop Rabu Bomber! The game is good. You had no right to complain about the PSN account requirement when it was clearly written on Thorpe this would be required. Shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up. You stupid idiot. It's not even true. Sony said that it was required. If Sony said that it was required, then it fucking overrides what they say because Sony is the final call, not them. Shut up, idiot. Have you addressed that this has been a notice on the game page store since before the game launched? I have addressed that, and I have come to the conclusion that it doesn't matter. I know you guys might, obviously, like, there's going to be people coming and going from the stream, and so people might not remember this. But somebody brought that up in chat, and they said, actually, it's still bad. And the reason why I think that it's still bad is that I would logically assume that the Sony website would override anything that the game says. Because Sony is the final authority on it, not the game. So it's like, if the game says it, that's one thing. But if Sony says it, then it overrides what the game says. And on Sony's official website, it said that you do not need an account, and that was changed today. So people bought it under one pretense, and then the pretense was changed. I think that's a fucking scam, man. I do. I think it's a fucking scam. Yeah, insert Vader meme. Yes, I've changed the EULA. Prayed that I do not change it farther. Yeah, they saw what Escape from Tarkov was doing, and they said, oh, we can do better than this. It's fraud according to EU laws? Well, we'll have to find out. And also, like, here's another factor. Even if you have some sort of, like, legal loophole about how you think it's not fraud, who gives a fuck? It sucks. It sucks. It's fucking stupid. What are we doing? Yeah, who cares? Oh, it's not fraud. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But realistically, people check Steam, not Sony's website, and Steam always said that it was required. It doesn't matter whether they say it was always required or not, because it is a Sony game. So in the instance that what the Sony website says and what the game website says is incongruent, is not the same, the Sony statement takes precedent. That's just how it is. It's like a power level. They have a higher power level. This is a problem with gaming in general. Yes, it is. Throw and chill. What's the rest of this? Not recommended. Are people actually getting reviews? Or sorry, not reviews. Jesus, what's the word? Refunds. Most helpful for the day. Can I get today? I'm gonna Control F for refund. Ah, fuck. I don't know if we're gonna have any of these. I'm gonna scroll down a lot, and I'll see if anybody else is saying that they got refunded. Okay. Mandatory refund is apparently disabled. No. Sony refund. It's going to be refund request. Players can't refund. I'm not seeing anybody saying that they could get a refund. Yeah, if you find information about them getting refunds, try to refund it yourself. Well, no, I don't think that would be a good test because I've only played it for 2 hours. So, like, I wouldn't need to refund it because, or like, for me, it wouldn't count because I barely played the game. Yeah, it wouldn't work. Exactly. Like, I don't know. Over 2 hours, it counts. I'm all in for not eating shit, but I think Sony's website screenshot argument is wrong, Mad. Can I have a word? Yeah, sure. I'll listen to what you have to say. Sure. How it feels to be NA. Yeah. This is crazy. Apparently another Boeing whistleblower got killed? Jesus. No, this person's not being rude. Like, why would this person get banned? They're not going to get banned. They're fine. Let me see what he's saying. The screenshot came from the FAQ. FAQ isn't like the Tarkov pack description situation. Why do you think it being from the FAQ changes it? How do you think that makes it different? Because the FAQ was created by Sony, and it's still Sony saying it. He died of a virus. It was called assassination. Oh, right. FAQ is like community people, right? No. Usually FAQ on really big websites like that are common questions that they had received that the company publishes the answers to ahead of time. The argument is that people don't usually check out the FAQs. They changed the FAQ. And also, if the FAQ, here's a cute one. Think about this. If the FAQ didn't matter, then why did they change it? Because FAQ is just customer support overall. I think Steam page takes priority in a situation like that. I don't, and the reason why I think that the reason why I disagree with that is because the Steam page would not have any sort of official like information about whether the publisher will be involved with this or not. I think that's obviously a very, very different thing. Like the publisher being involved with something like this is a completely different situation. And Steam would not be accountable for or not for that. Steam is just a storefront for the game. If you go, so like for example, I'm trying to think of like, I don't know if this would be a good analogy, right? So like if you're buying something, it's like a type of food and the nutritional facts are different at the store than they are on the website. I think that the website would be the one that I would trust and not the store, right? That's the way that I see it. As in a certain game, FAQ is for all Sony games. Well, wait a second. So FAQ is for all Sony games? Well, isn't it FAQs aren't legally binding? When you go to an FAQ, there is no I accept or I agree button. FAQ is not binding. Why would it matter whether it was binding or not? All advertisement, that doesn't even make sense because so all advertisement is not a binding contract either. Like whenever I see an advertisement for a game, I don't have to click I agree whenever I look at the advertisement. I just see the information. So the idea that you can't say this is misleading unless you click I agree doesn't make sense. So if you buy a game at Best Buy and the cashier tells you that you don't need internet, end of the day, they aren't accountable for Sony requiring internet. Well, they are, and you should take it back to Best Buy, but at the end of the day, it's the company that's responsible for it. I wish I could click I disagree on some ads. Yeah, really. So yeah, I don't agree with that. Someone saying that Sony is currently having to appeal to Valve to ban Helldivers 2 players into PlayStation accounts will allow them to ban without having to go through Valve. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. That's pretty fucking funny. Is this for laughs? Of course it is for laughs. Because if this was in America, they'd have guns. They'd be dead. Yeah, you can tell this isn't in America. It's in Quebec? Yeah. Basically the gaming industry right now? Yeah, maybe. Why do Americans love guns so much? There's a lot of reasons for that. It looks French? No, the flags aren't white. Man, Asmon has expressed interest in Dragon's Crown yesterday? What is this? Is Dragon's Crown a... Yeah, and I would be interested in a game like this. Is it like a turn-based game, or... No, it's not. It's action? Oh, maybe that would be good. I would maybe play that. Yeah. Well, shit. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, The First Descendant. Do you know what this game is going to be? Does anybody else know what this game is going to be? It's going to be pay to win. It's going to be pay to win. I'm going to play it. That's right. It's going to be pay to win. It's being pushed by Nexon. And so I'm kind of curious to see exactly what's going to happen with this. But, you know, yeah, it's a Nexon game, and it's going to have drop 10K or you're a coward. Well, I mean, I played the beta. I thought the beta was actually quite good, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it a lot. You know, I thought it was great. But it's probably going to be pay to win. Did you get a sponsorship? I don't know. If I did get a sponsorship, I'd absolutely do it. Like, I mean, what's the logic, right? Oh, I'm not going to take a sponsorship for a pay-to-win game. By the way, I'm going to do Honkai Star Rail today. Uh-huh. Yeah, shut the fuck up. No, that's not really what it is. Sometimes whales get to whale. Yeah, exactly. Would you expect the FAQ to be updated as soon as a new policy is rolled out, and they would know things like different FAQs to say, even go back and change it? I think that Sony... I don't know why people keep trying to push this. Guys, Sony, they changed the wording. If they changed the wording, why do you think they did that? Come on. Come on. What are we doing? Let's see here. Who the fuck kidnaps an alligator? Oh, my dad told me about this. Wally, the emotional support alligator, who was used as a visual reference for alligator Loki, went missing. He was kidnapped, and then a tracker released him to a swamp over 20 other alligators. With little to no hope of finding him, the alligator is domesticated and enjoys Cheetos as part of its meal. What? Cheetos? I don't know about that. It begins. What is this? New York City's grocery stores close over theft. What the fuck? Should we go contact? Yeah, this is... It's AI? Is this AI? Let me see.
Now nearly all grocers in New York City say they have been victims of shoplifting this year alone. And 60% of those...
That's not a surprise. I think people steal things out of every store. I mean, that doesn't really sell me.
Stores say they've been burglarized every single day of the week this
year. Okay, that's a lot.
So the city's fallen to a point where if there's something on a shelf
anything, it is a target for thieves, who've now set their sights on our food supply, robbing local businesses until they shut down, and the city is powerless to stop this from happening.
Why?
For some reason.
As we all know, retail theft rings are an ongoing problem for bodegas, grocery stores, mom and pop businesses, and both common and luxury retail chains.
I think a lot of people would be surprised that it's almost every single day.
Coffee, cheese.
Well, like anybody who's worked at a store knows that there's like an acceptable level of losses for something like this. Every store accounts for people stealing shit. It's just that usually, what's that accounting? Like 3%, something like that? 3 to 5? That's usually what I hear about a lot. It's called shrink? Yeah. 3 to 5, not every day. Yeah, it depends on the state. It's high as fuck now. Yeah, now it's 3 to 500%.
Shrimp. Nothing is safe.
Are you concerned sometimes for your safety?
Absolutely. Retailer is just open game. Walk away with anything.
Simple shoplifting's really graduated to organized, sophisticated crimes. It's like the wild
What's crazy to me about this happening is that it seems like this should be happening less, right? Because as people have better surveillance technology and better facial recognition, it should be easier to find where these people are and who these people are who are stealing things and go get them.
West
The cops don't care. I think that's what it is. Yeah, cops don't care. Because like these guys aren't wearing masks. I get that you're saying they're wearing masks, but they're not here.
Misdemeanor. Merchants want increased penalties.
Jesus, it's like Batman.
Which Governor Kathy Hochul is going after, introducing a $45 million initiative to
I was trying to pause to see if you could see there. Oh, that guy's got a mask on.
They go in and swipe everything off the shelves. Oftentimes, they're loading into a stolen vehicle.
Meanwhile, here in New York City,
it's the Kia boys.
it's reported that retailers lost close to $4.5 billion last year.
Yeah, but like, what's the percentage there? $4.5 billion. What does that mean?
All victims when retail theft happens.
I mean, it seems like a lot, but still.
Of things, and it also creates. Of things, and it also creates this environment where people are hesitant.
Now grocery stores are closing. Yeah, I bet. I fucking bet.
So almost 100%.
93% groceries. Nah, bro, this is so dumb. That's dumb.
Grocery stores have been shoplifted recently. But nobody's talking about how New York City's latest plan to stop shoplifting won't actually punish the people
No, bro. Like, I mean, because it's hyperbole. Yeah. Like, I mean, of course, so you have a store. The store is doing business every single day. Like, let's say 360 days out of the year. Assuming they take off Christmas and, maybe Thanksgiving or something, or Easter. So 360 days of the year, they're probably selling an inventory of 1,000 plus items. What is the probability that one thing gets stolen? I think it's like 100%, guys. It is. I bet it's like 100%. So, like, it's not about whether they're stealing. It's about what the degree is. It's like everybody knows people might take, oh my God, somebody stole a bag of Skittles. Aha! But I'm thinking, like, how often is this happening? Employees stealing too? Oh, that's a really good point. I actually don't hear people talk about that a lot. I remember a friend of mine actually wanted me to help him break into the place that he was working at so we could steal a bunch of money out of the safe that they had there. And I told him it was a bad idea. We ended up not doing it. But like, he was an employee.
Shoplift. Instead, it's only aimed at punishing people who become violent while shoplifting, which means peaceful shoplifting can continue surging out of control. With organized theft rings running full-time businesses, not just targeting retailers like Macy's, now they'll rob your local grocery store and offload stolen oranges.
Steal those oranges, boys. I mean, they're just sitting there, bro. Like, it's just sitting there. Just put them in your pocket and go. They're right there.
At a bodega or a curbside produce truck. Because even though stealing physical merchandise like a North Face jacket will make you more money.
We need Spider-Man. Where's Spider-Man?
Those are now chained to the stores that sell them, so they're harder to make off with.
Oh, bro, this is how it is in at Walmart. So I was at Walmart. I told y'all the story about this before. I'll say it again. So I went to Walmart and I wanted to buy a pack of underwear. And I tell the lady, I was like, I go to the place where the underwear is, and I can't get any underwear because every single package is behind glass that is locked up. So I have to talk to a person, and I thought to myself, okay, like, I really don't want to have to deal with this. This is fucking annoying. There's nobody here. Can I just buy a more expensive one maybe? And like, then, yeah, I pay a little bit more, but like, I don't have to deal with this. Like, I was like, okay, buy the $9 underwear instead of the $6 underwear. Okay. Amazon Pro. Yeah, but like, I was there at the same time. So I was like, I might as well do it. Right. And so then I talked to the lady and I'm like, okay, can I get this one? And she's like, yeah, sure. You can get it. And then I said, cool, can I get it? She says, no, I can't give it to you. She wouldn't even let me hand it. She was like, are you buying it now or are you going to keep shopping? I said, can I just have it? And then I'll take it up to the thing. She's like, no, you have to buy it right now or I take you up there and we ring you up. And I said, okay, well, I guess I'll take it up there. She says, no, I will take it up there. You will walk with me as I take it up there. She takes the underwear. She hands it to the cashier and she's like, oh, he wants that one. And I could not even touch the underwear that I was going to buy. I had to be escorted over. I swear to God, there's probably less restrictions on buying a fucking shotgun. How does this happen? Well, actually, no. We all know how it happens. It's because people steal underwear. That's the reason. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. It's because people are stealing all the underwear. That's why they have it like that. I've seen stores, like I've seen like pictures of stores where every single item is behind locked glass.
Stores that sell them, so they're harder to make off with. But the real reason shoplifting continues to surge to levels we've never seen before is because it's still possible in this city.
Attention, theft is prosecuted at Walgreens. Oh, you can see. Look, bro, look. See? They got it right up there.
To steal under $1,000 worth of stuff and not go to jail, which means any thief can start their own business tomorrow selling products they got
Which
for
is
free.
a good idea, right? Because you steal like $800 worth of stuff every day and, you know, you're fine because you never go over the limit. I'll be right back. Yeah, people got... Well, the thing is, with laundry detergent, you know what they do with this? Is they take two things of laundry detergent, they unscrew one of them, and they pour the other one, they fill it all the way up to the top, and then they take it out there. They still do it. It's like there's nothing you can do. Like, oh, yes. That's also stealing? Well, yep, it is. I know this might sound crazy, but I've never stolen anything out of a Walgreens before. I've never done it. I'm actually kind of afraid to steal things out of stores. How about a Walmart? I mean, generally, like, I don't like stealing things out of stores because they have cameras. And so I think that the people that do it, I understand what the reason is behind doing it. It's because they assume that they're not going to get caught. That's what it is.
Effectively closing down the stores they steal from, who then have to compete with their own stolen merchandise. And what's truly insane is how thieves are now literally threatening the food supply of New York City.
What?
And if this continues, it could make things tougher for some of the city's neediest residents, when the grocery stores and bodegas they rely on shut down for good.
Well, it's not just them shutting down, man. It's also the fact that they're going to increase the prices. Like, let's think about it logically, right? So if you have 100 oranges and you're selling them for $1, well, that means that you're going to make $100, right? But what happens if 50 of the oranges get stolen? Well, you still have to make $100, so now oranges are $2. That's a lot of money. Jesus.
Stop One Deli here on Gun Hill Road for 30 years now. He says they are robbed on a regular basis and fearful of doing anything about it. Are you concerned sometimes for your safety?
Y'all remember that one video where that dude was trying to steal some shit out of a store and then the other guy started beating him with a mop or like with a rake and just fucking beating his ass? Man, that was a good... God, I've watched that video like 10 times.
Absolutely, for my safety and the employment safety. Minutes away also.
So first it was Macy's, then it was Walgreens, now it's the small mom and pop independent stores that sell food who are now being targeted. Which makes sense because once you put the big chains out of business, all you've got left are the local businesses.
And no, that's not the reason why it's happening, because it's easier to steal from the local businesses because they generally have less infrastructure and less cameras. That's the reason. And also, like, if you steal from them, the level of recourse they can have is much less. Like, if you're stealing from, you know, Dave's Bar and Deli, like, what is Dave going to do about this? But if you're stealing from Subway or Jersey Mike's, well, they've got a lot more resources.
If a big drugstore like this can't figure out how to secure its products, what chance does your local bodega or grocery store have? Most of what they sell can't even be locked up behind.
Well, it's not that. They assume they aren't going to get caught. They're doing it because NYC cost of living is so damn high and all their money goes to rent. They aren't stealing things to resell. They're stealing them to survive. Well, if you steal things to survive and you're stealing them from people that are trying to sell them to survive, wouldn't the people that are trying to sell them survive not be able to survive because they got their stuff stolen that they were trying to survive with? Like, I don't think that's really a good way of looking at it, man. It's not their shit.
The progressive plexiglass we see everywhere in this city. Because they sell food, because they sell beverages. Most of what they have cannot be chained behind something. And when you combine that with insanely high rent, for what in most cases is a very tiny little storefront, you've got a situation where these businesses are not exactly making
$3 for a can of tuna?
And that doesn't leave a lot of extra money lying around for security guards. But just as your local bodegas are getting looted into oblivion, the same thing is happening.
And it's also like people don't want to have security guards there. You're right, it's 4, it's not 3. Because like for me, whenever I go to Walmart, it annoys me. I don't know, like maybe I'm being unreasonable, but like it annoys me whenever I have a loss prevention person come up to me and want to see my receipt. Because it makes me feel like I'm being treated like a criminal. And it's an annoyance that I don't want to have to deal with. I'm being profiled? Yeah, no, I mean, if they should check anybody, they probably should check me. But I don't steal things from stores, right? So, yeah.
At your local grocery stores. And when one of these places shuts down, it could take the rest of the neighborhood with it.
Minutes away also is Carlos Collado, 30-year resident, 15 years as the manager at this fine fair on White Plains Road, sending us surveillance video after surveillance video while describing a new climate of emboldened shoplifters.
They feel like the law protects them, like there are no consequences. Totally emboldened.
Now, to understand...
That's what happens is that, yeah, the people that are doing this, like, if the police wanted to catch one of these people, they would catch them. But they don't give a shit.
How shoplifting is never a victimless crime. This grocery store, it's the only one in the area. Everybody living around here, this is the store that they shop at. If it's gone, where are they going to go? And even if the store itself doesn't close, as they deal with theft, they have to raise their prices because if half the stuff on the shelf gets stolen, the other half has to cost 100% more for them to make the same amount of money.
Exactly.
And higher prices hurt legitimate...
When it's thousands of people shoplifting, you study day by day, they don't have the resources, even for serious crimes. Exactly, right? And so, like, that's the problem, is, like, there are so many people that are stealing that it's unfeasible to go after all of the theft. I don't know what to... Like, that's crazy.
Customers who obey the law and are just trying to make it in one of the most expensive cities in the country, which essentially means that shoplifting is a tax on the rest of society. And the more it continues, the more everyone has to pay for the same stuff. But eventually, prices rise to a point where nobody can afford what the store sells. And when that happens, the store has to shut down. It can no longer stay open and operate because its prices are too high, and if it brings them down, they won't be able to pay their expenses and make a living. And customers that might be used to shopping at a little place like this, they don't have unlimited money. At a certain point, it will be cheaper to take the subway and waste your time traveling.
Man. I thought this would be like $11.
To another
and
part
look, it's under lock and key. Tide Pods are under lock and key.
That has another store that hasn't been looted to a point where its prices are so high nobody can shop there. On top of that, the majority of this thievery, it's not just one person stealing a loaf of bread. No, these are organized retail gangs that make a living off stolen products. And it's so bad and so prevalent, you've got entire swaths of town that now resemble ghost towns in New York City of all places. And the New York Post interviewed several deli and grocery managers who all said when they saw someone stealing who was obviously in need, they did not care. Which means although greed does have a lot to do with why once profitable businesses are shutting down, it's not due to the greed of the business.
Yeah, it's not like, I mean, the thing is that nobody should be allowed to steal, right? You can't let people steal, but there's obviously a fucking spectrum with it, right? Where it's like if somebody is stealing diapers or somebody is stealing, you know, a can of beans to eat, that's way different than somebody trying to like fucking get every bag of Skittles in the entire fucking store and then run out with all the Skittles. It is different. You're wrong? No, I'm not wrong. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that like they're both bad and they're both against the law and people shouldn't be able to do either one of them. I get it. But let's not pretend that a person stealing beans to survive is exactly the same as a person stealing $300 worth of cosmetic things in order to sell. It's not the exact same thing. That's all I'm trying to get at. Like it's more nuanced. Yes, it's just more nuanced than that. It's one is bad and the other one is really bad.
Business owners, instead it's the greed of the shoplifters.
I'm not saying that anybody, I don't think anybody should be allowed to steal. But it is obviously a spectrum of which one is worse.
Now
stop stealing, yes.
They take an extra step now. They want to fight us. They constantly. It's often a battle.
Shoplifters have grown so bold, their illegal businesses so profitable, they now feel entitled to the very inventory they never paid for in the first place. And this is why physical altercations inside these stores are now so common. And what that's doing is it's turning the local places who are just trying to survive into complete war zones. And the sad thing is, nobody working at these local businesses gets paid enough money.
Because you think about it too, like if you're a local business, think about how much money it would cost in order for you to get, let's say, all of those like lock and key things for your store. Because like I bet for Walmart and for Walgreens and CVS, those stores probably have like default size shelves with default things that they can give you. So like everything is like built to scale, whereas like a lot of the mom and pop shops don't have that. And so the amount of money that it would take for them to cost, or for them to protect that, would be way higher. That's thousands of dollars. Yes, it's thousands of dollars. And also it's a decision that, for example, like if you're a Walgreens, you can instantly make this decision, and it's easier to do because the decision has effectively already been made for you. However, if you're just a small store, you don't have those different foundations set for you. You see what I'm trying to say? Or what I'm trying to say? Completely wrong. Okay. You're really upset. Why is this wrong? Why is this wrong? You're getting pulled up. Cameras are so cheap. Buy a gun, protect your store. So let's say you shoot somebody and you kill them. Let's say you shoot somebody and you don't kill them and then they sue you. Let's say that you shoot somebody and you kill them and then people don't want to go into the store because a murder just happened there. Let's say you shoot somebody and you kill them and you get charged for a crime. Let's say that you shoot somebody and you miss and you hit somebody else. Like, I'd say you shoot somebody and there are other people in the store and the person sees that and they try to take a hostage. Like, there's like 50 million probabilities of what could possibly happen that, yes, you're right. They should be able to defend the store. Absolutely. If people are running and like violently taking things out of the store, I don't care if people shoot them. It's not a big deal. But the problem is that just doing that, it's not just doing that. Everybody thinks that like, oh, well, we're just going to pop them off and then that's it. No. There's like a whole fucking, that opens up. Now there's blood all over your store. Now you've got to close the fucking store. You think about it. That's not a risk they take by opening a store. You have a problem with your shit getting stolen and take care of it. They are allowing themselves to get robbed. Oh. This is such a one-dimensional opinion. There are only so many things that a store can do, and a lot of stores, so you have to understand that one of the big reasons why, if like, let's say, how many of you guys worked in retail and you were told never to stop shoplifters? Right. You're told that. Why is that? Why are you told that? It's a lawsuit, liability, right? So it's easy to say this, but the reality is not the same. Would it be better to allow your shit to get stolen or hurt someone trying to protect it? Listen, number one, like, where did you even start? This guy, I'm just gonna ban this guy. He's such a fucking idiot. Like, it's just so dumb. It's just a waste. Like, I was thinking, like, oh, let's keep arguing about this. Why? What are we doing here? Get out of here. Obviously, you should be able to protect your store. That's not what we're talking about. You're arguing with something I'm not even saying. All I'm saying is that, like, the cost of doing that is very high. Waste of time arguing? Yeah, it's a waste of time.
Put their life on the line for a hat, or an apple, or an orange for that matter. Now the governor's new plan to stop shoplifting only increases penalties for shoplifters who also become violent while they are stealing things from a store, which means that if shoplifters go into a store and they're on their best behavior, this new plan won't offer them any new consequences for their behavior. And since the police are powerless to stop these criminals, you've now got a situation where thieves make a living off the backs of the innocent in more ways than one.
This Bravo supermarket in the Bronx is clean and feeds the neighborhood, but they're also hemorrhaging between $1,000 and $2,000 a month from theft.
That's probably a lot. Yeah, whenever I think about that. No, they said a month, right? Not a day. Because like the margins on a lot of these things are not really super high. $24K a year. Yeah, and this isn't really a big store. I bet that's a lot of money. Yeah. That's a salary? Yeah, basically.
Everything is bad. It's terrible.
Coffee, cheese, shrimp. Nothing is safe. Several months ago, Jose says a woman came in with a baby stroller, filled it with these logs of salt.
So I bought this massive brick of Bustelo coffee on Amazon because this was the cheapest I could find these Bustelo coffees in. And it even looks like it came from a legitimate distributor. It's shrink wrapped. It's got the cardboard under it. This looks pretty legit. But these little bricks are the same ones that get sold at the supermarket. What if these are stolen and they were placed inside this package? I've got no way of knowing that. Professional thieves are really good now. They will steal things individually and repackage them, sell them online, and all this packaging and stuff that you need to make your product a bundle of 12 packages of espresso is all readily obtainable. This is already a huge problem with other sorts of retail theft, clothing, electronics, stuff like that. But food, the same thing's possible if you've got stuff like this that's non-perishable. And what's insane is the reason all of us are shopping on...
That is so fucking ghetto. Holy shit. Like, I understand doing that for, like, you know, Magic cards or, like, Pokemon cards. But, geez, doing that for, like, food? It's so much work, yeah.
Because we're looking for a deal. We're looking to save money. And online you can do it. And we think, oh, that's just because it's online. It's because there's not an actual
Steal and
store
sell it online,
that has to pay things like rent. And you know something? That is partially true. But the store that you bought it from, they also don't have to pay for things like inventory because the goods are stolen. And it's ridiculous to think that the entire shoplifting industrial complex operating in this city happens because legitimate people are also the victims of it. We don't understand that we're buying the things that are closing our own stores. And stores like this aren't shut down because Robin Hood was trying to feed the poor by stealing from the rich. You've literally got people raiding local businesses, stealing as much as they can in a half an hour.
Well, you think about it logically, right? So if there's a person who's stealing from stores professionally, they do this for their job, they are probably stealing more than like 500 other people put together. So, like, the real problem are the people that are stealing in mass and at scale. Probably more than 1 to 500. 500 normal people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mega stealers. Okay, so what's the solution? I think that you need to, like, empower different businesses to protect themselves without feeling like they're going to get sued into oblivion for protecting their inventory. And then also, more importantly, the people that are stealing things need to go to jail. It's that simple. If you steal things and you're running out of a store with your arms full of a bunch of shit, they should arrest you and put you in jail. Like, fucking duh. It's not even a question.
This inventory costs the thieves absolutely nothing. Yeah. You've got a pure profit business.
Start chopping limbs? No, that's a terrible idea. Okay, so now you're going to cut somebody's hand off. Well, now they can't get a job and you have to pay them disability. You see how this is a problem? You can't do that.
If the criminals get arrested, since they don't go to jail, if it's under
maybe
$1,000, they can get right back out. They don't even miss work. And although these theft operations might enrich the people at the top, a lot of the people at the bottom who are doing the actual stealing, these are folks who are being exploited. People suffering from addiction, from homelessness. Crooks convince them they can earn quick cash today by bringing a trash bag full of beauty supplies, detergent, or espresso back to a warehouse. And without
Which is like, I mean, if you were in the projects, if you were in like a low-income area, and you saw like some random dumb homeless guy and you told him, if you steal a bunch of shit out of the store and bring it to me, I will give you this much money for it. I bet a lot of guys would probably do that. They use kids a lot too. Yeah, like that's smart, right? Like if I was trying to do this, that's what I would do. I would find crackheads and pay them to steal the stuff. The crackheads get arrested every once in a while. It is what it is, right? But then you pay them a bit extra money after they get out of jail. Everything's fine. And you just have them do it. Yeah, absolutely do it. Well, of course they do. Like, I mean, a lot of the guys that do this aren't really stupid. They just don't want to get a job and they're lazy.
help
Some
from
of them
police
are stupid,
and from
though.
a justice system that cares about businesses like this, there's no way it stands a chance
It's a thieves'
against an
guild. Yeah,
operation
exactly.
like that. And think about a grocery store losing $2,000 a month just from shoplifting. If your business is already struggling because the rent's too high and because your taxes and other fees just for operating are through the roof, a crime-ridden environment could be the final straw, and your business could make the unfortunate decision to close up shop. And who's the winner in a situation like that? Certainly not the business owner, because now they're out of a job. Certainly not everybody who lives around here, because now they're out of
the
stores
people that are stealing, that's who wins.
stop that. And you know what? It's not even the criminals who do the actual stealing, because eventually the store's going to be gone and they're not going to be able to buy any food either. It's completely destructive.
Well, they won't need to. They can just go somewhere else, right? I mean, that's the thing. Is if you're stealing things as a job all the time, you've probably got a lot of free time.
Is this a total nightmare? Absolutely. And that's why the government is moving forward with this plan to punish violent shoplifters. It's better than nothing, but the real question is, why has it taken the government so long to act on this? Why have so many stores had to close down? People lose their jobs. Customers lose their shopping centers. Sadly, because the people running New York don't see shoplifting as that big of a deal, apparently.
I think also there's kind of a, there's kind of a culture or a premise that shoplifting is not bad and it's society's fault why people are shoplifting, which is you could say that's kind of true in some circumstances, but in terms of the professional shoplifters that are stealing a lot of stuff, those people are probably making at least some money, and they're doing that instead of having a job. And it's stupid. Yeah, I think it's stupid too. And the thing is that, and this is the problem, is that they're also right in a way, because if you give people more money, then they would be less likely to shoplift. I'm not saying it would go from 100 people to 0 people, but it would maybe go from 100 people to 15 people or 20 people. Most people don't want to actively break the law because people don't want to risk, going to jail or getting in trouble or anything like that, or getting kicked out of the store or any sort of an interaction. Most people won't want to do that. So a lot of the people that are probably stealing are, they wouldn't do that if they had the money. So it's that's definitely true, but at the same time, it doesn't make it okay, right? So it's just because this problem exists doesn't mean that it's okay for people to capitalize on it in this bad way. Shop redesign, all items behind the wall. Yeah.
Card or cash?
Card. You ever have people come in here and try to steal?
Yeah. Have you guys ever seen some of these pictures? I'm trying to think, maximum security. Let me see if I can find some of these. Fuck. No, there's no real indicator for this. But I've seen these pictures of Church's Chicken or KFC or McDonald's, and the entire fucking thing has the entire thing is plexiglass. You can't, it's like a prison where they put your food in the little slot and they move it in there. Bulletproof glass, maybe? Yeah. Here we go. Holy shit. Holy shit. Look at that. Oh my God. That's a Burger King, man. Just think this is a bank. I was like, this shit's a bank. Look at this. Holy fuck. Oh my God. That's a McDonald's. Bro, that's like a McPrison. This might be the one. Bro, this KFC is locked the fuck down. Look at that. Little holes. It's a McPrison, yeah.
Bulletproof Burger King, West Side Detroit.
Bulletproof Burger King. I love it. They cash in checks there? Yeah, they have an armored car deliver the chicken, guys. Look at that. It's like right underneath. That's where you slide the cash in. Like right under... Bro, that is actually a bank. This is straight up a bank, guys. Like, actually, like, I went to the bank maybe like 6 months ago, and to be fair, there wasn't any of this. This is worse than a bank. Yeah, my bank's out in the open. Yeah, mine is too. My banks have none of this. Look at this. They've got the windows barred up with chain link. That is crazy, man. Man. I just... That is fucking crazy, man. One more, then we're gonna move on. What's this, a shop? Get the fuck out of here. Let me see, open image in new tab. There we go. Shut the god, Jesus. There we go, look. Like metal everywhere. Are these workers getting, yeah, like that's actually, you know what? That's such a good point. Are the workers getting hazard pay? Yeah, it's like you have to work somewhere where you need bulletproof glass to sell chicken. You know what I mean? Like, they should compare, like, that's crazy. Sounds like the safest place in the city. Yeah, I guess so. Could it have been put there for COVID? Yes, but this is not a circumstance of that. And a lot of these things predate COVID. And I think based off of all of the other things that are happening in retail, I don't think that's the real reason. Because like whenever we had COVID, a lot of you guys probably had like, you know, big, like just plexiglass, like just like walls kind of. And that was it. And it would go to like right here, right? Like about right here. And like you could just move it or push it down. It's a sheet of glass. Yeah, exactly. There's flimsy garbage. Because all it's supposed to do is like make sure that you can't, you know, that the spit from your mouth isn't going to go to the other person. It's not bulletproof either. Yeah.
Stuff?
Yeah.
Do you think
Card or cash?
Card. You ever have people come in here and try to steal stuff?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a store in New York City that's never been shoplifted from?
That's hard. That's a hard.
I think that's a bad frame of reference to base off of. I think it's that is shoplifting causing such a decrease in profits that is tangibly negatively affecting the store. Because like if you're losing 1% of your money to shoplifting, that's bad, right? But if you're losing 7% or 15%, that's insane. It's about percentages. I bet every place has been stolen from.
Because it's like, there's so many people in the city.
Yeah.
It's so
the
many
cashier
people
can answer
in the
that?
city.
Well, yeah, actually in a lot of these places, they're small. Yeah, they might actually know.
In our communities all over the state of New York, it must stop. Governor Hochul now pledging $25 million for a dedicated retail theft unit within the state police. 15 million for district attorneys, and 5 million to help businesses with security. The question tonight, will that actually protect merchants?
So here's some good news from the governor. 45 million, that's a lot of money, but unfortunately, it won't all go to purposes that people think are going to have an effect. But it's also worth noting that it's not the governor's fault or the mayor's fault that we have a shoplifting problem in this state. After all, they didn't write the laws that have led us to the place we're at today. And to a certain
that's the reason.
extent, their tools for dealing with an out-of-control crime crisis are somewhat limited. So first up, we've got $25 million for the police, who can arrest people who then get released because the laws here don't jail people for stealing. Now, yes,
that's the problem. Yeah. Because, like, if I was stealing something and I knew if I got caught, the police would grab me and put me in jail for a day, well, let's say the probability of getting put in jail is 1%, and you make $200 every day. That's pretty good, man. That's really good, especially if they let you out the next day. Like, yeah, that's super worth it. Almost all people, like, not almost all people, but a lot of people, whenever crime like this gets out of control, it usually gets out of control because people make a value judgment. They look at how much they're going to lose for getting in trouble versus how much they're going to gain for committing the crime. And like, you can see this also at like the mega macro level. Whenever a company pays, like, you know, this is like $1 trillion company or like a, you know, $100 million company, and they pay like a fine of $33 million for, you know, like a business practice that made them, you know, $8 billion. So yeah, it's risk reward. Exactly. And I think everybody makes that judgment. Like, there's an idea that like criminals are illogical. That's not true. Some criminals are illogical, but there is a tremendous amount of them that are logical, and they are making calculated decisions on, okay, I'm going to do this because this has a low probability of me getting in trouble.
State police, they're the ones who bust a lot of these big-time retail theft rings, and the leaders of those operations are responsible for way more than $1,000 worth of theft.
Yeah.
And the leaders might get locked up, but the low-level criminals who are still out there robbing these stores, shutting them down, they're still walking the earth. There's also $15 million set aside for district attorneys to go after.
Well, how are you gonna, like, the thing is, like, let's say you pay Rufus the crackhead to go and to go steal things for you, right? You give him money, and then Rufus gets arrested and he goes to jail for a day. The police want him to rat you out. Rufus isn't going to do that. Why the fuck would he do that? Because if he rats you out, then you're not going to give him money again. So it's like he's not going to kill the golden goose. Rufus is smart. He's not that, at least he's not that stupid. He knows what's going on. He just wants another hit. Yeah. You're talking about criminal employment? It's a growing industry in some states? Of course.
These criminals. But the whole problem in New York City is that progressive laws that protect criminals instead of punishing them, those laws exist because people believe in them. Judges believe in them. District attorneys even believe in them. So the people that are supposed to prosecute the criminals end up feeling bad for them, sympathetic towards them, and may not be asking for the harshest penalties they could, which might actually land somebody behind bars. But the last $5 million, this could actually do something, because it has to do with grants related to in-store security for local businesses who need it the most. For example, things like security guards, security cameras, these could help in discouraging crime.
I think that they need to arrest the people and put them in jail. Like, I hate this idea that, like, the way to solve this is to have, like, 50 different levels of, like, security. I think you should have some security for sure, but at a certain point, the security is so overbearing and overreaching that it's, like, obstructive to even being able to go into the store and, like, conduct business regularly. Like, applying all that security stuff to each different individual product, that's insane. Like, I think at a certain point, like, you should just, a society should expect people not to steal, and if people do it, they should be held accountable. Like, that's it. It's crazy that this is even a conversation.
at the source. But that brings up an interesting question about all this. If a $5 million grant to businesses, that's almost like an admission that things are happening inside the business that the city's not able to stop, and the business needs more resources to deal with it themselves. So why not give businesses the whole $35 million? At the end of the day, if even bananas are being stolen and there's nothing the police
there's no amount of money that the government can give the businesses that will stop it from happening. That's not how it works.
Do about it. Why not give businesses the resources to tackle this problem on their own? But money for businesses, that's definitely better than what other local leaders here have tried to come up with. One local leader wants to start taxing landlords who have vacant storefronts. Now, think about that for a second. If the store closed and left because they weren't making enough money to pay the rent, if the landlord has to take less rent, they're essentially subsidizing the activities of shoplifters who lowered that business's margins through theft to cause them to shut down in the first place. But
everybody subsidizes it. Taxpayers subsidize it. The other stores, the other people that are shopping subsidize it, and so does the store. They all do.
There's a new plan on the table. How long is it going to take to work?
Yeah.
And will it save businesses from shutting down completely? And what do local business owners think about this?
They're releasing repeat criminals. Crime hurts us.
Indeed, crime hurts all of us. Now, Hochul's proposal is actually for next year's fiscal budget.
Oh, okay. So it's at least 1 year away. Meanwhile, criminals are still going to walk around doing what they've always done. And even if businesses do hire guard dogs and put up cameras and install security apparatuses, what does anyone think the result of that is actually going to be when there is a legal system and a justice system on the other end of all that security footage that isn't actually going to punish anybody? Because at the end of the day...
Yeah, if they, because here's the thing. Back whenever I didn't have, a lot of money, and I was younger, why wouldn't you steal from a store if you're not going to get in trouble? What's the logic? Why wouldn't you do it? Ethics? Well, you have to look at it from the perspective of the people that are in the situation that are stealing. And from the perspective of the people that are stealing, this isn't me justifying it. I'm explaining it. Is that they have been fucked by society. They have been put in a situation where they have to steal. And because of that, they have no sense of accountability to society. They have no sense of, society's not doing them any favors. So, of course, they're going to do this. The store owners doesn't deserve success. Yeah, exactly. They feel like they've been dealt a raw hand or a bad hand in life. And this is them making up for it. That's their thinking. So if you have a person who thinks that they've been wronged by society and they're stealing, you have to have a punishment for it. It's their own fault. It's not about whether it's their fault or not. That's totally outside of the point. Sounds like a victim? Get a job, climb out? You're not understanding. I agree with all of that. I agree. I'm not disagreeing, but in order to understand why a person does something, or in order to make somebody stop doing something, then you have to understand why it's happening in the first place. San Francisco Channel 5 video shows multiple examples of what you're saying. The thieves gave those exact reasons. Of course. Yeah, of course. Because a lot of people that steal things, this is one thing that I've learned a lot. A lot of people that steal things, they are people in general. It's the same with piracy, right? They want to excuse it and act like, oh, it's okay that I'm doing this. Oh, well, this is okay. It's all right. I'm doing this. So they're looking for justification. This isn't just an American problem. Oh, I'm sure it's not. Robin Hood syndrome? Well, yeah. Steal and get no consequences, or pay what you can't afford. Easy decision for thieves. Yeah, exactly. So if a person is lazy and doesn't want to put in work and steal, it's justified. I'm going to be honest, man. I'm just going to permanently ban you. I explicitly said it wasn't, and you're putting words in my mouth. I'm just going to ban you. It's just you're wasting everybody's time. I don't want to read your messages.
The reason we've got such a problem with repeat offenders is because the first-time offenders were never punished in the first place. And what's truly fascinating about this new push to try and stamp out crime is it comes after an effort that started a year ago to try and expand the number of food-related businesses in areas that are lacking. And if you're not sure how you could have no grocery store in an area with lots of people, then you haven't been paying attention to this video.
Well, there's even like a term for it. It's called like food desert, I'm pretty sure. That's the one that they use a lot of. So yeah, it's really common.
Opened as part of the New York City program called Fresh. The program offers zoning and tax benefits for grocery store owners to open in areas that the city says have limited.
And I hope that people know that like whenever the government does that, they're effectively using everybody's tax money to subsidize paying for shoplifting. So like they're effectively like, because shoplifting is happening in stores, shoplifters are stealing from stores, the government is effectively shoplifting everybody's money to pay for it. That's what's happening.
So grocery stores have been struggling for a long time. We know this. And a year ago, the city admitted that, hey, these stores, they don't have enough money to operate. For some reason, which we can't seem to identify, stores lose money, they close, they leave, and people have nowhere to buy food. And obviously, last year's program to try and expand stores by giving them discounts and not admitting the whole reason why stores have trouble staying open has missed the mark completely. And here we are a year later with those same types of stores having an even tougher time trying to make it in New York's crime-ridden environment. And you know something? It's really hard to have a crime-free environment when the people who are supposed to enforce the laws regarding crime view all criminals as victims. For example, some schools of thought see criminals as victims of a society that has been unfair to them in some manner,
which is true. And that's the thing, is they're right. That no, like pre-watched? Well, no, it's an obvious conclusion. Like, yeah, of course, there are some people that get fucked over in life. It's not about whether life is fair or not. Like, for example, if you play the lottery and you lose the lottery, you can't say, oh, that wasn't fair. I have to steal a car to make up for the fact that I lost the lottery. Just because things are unfair doesn't mean that you have the autonomy to go and steal people's shit. However, it is important to keep in mind that a lot of people feel this way. I think it's pretty normal. The distributor is missing a point. Cycle of violence is no different than cycle of victims. You're definitely right. You're completely right. All I'm saying is that I think that the people that are getting fucked over, like a lot of you guys, you know, like we just got done talking about how like things are massively overpriced. So people can't afford food. And so then they steal the food. It doesn't justify it, but it helps understand what the problem is. That's my only point, right? I just want people to understand, like, that's where it's coming from. I agree with you that they should be arrested, put in jail. But that's not the only way you have to come at a problem from like 2 or 3 different ways to like really get it to stop.
Them permission to victimize store owners who are obviously wealthier and better off than they are. While at the exact same time, those business owners are seen as victims of the landlords who they rent from who charge so much that they have to shut down. And think for a moment about how different New York City would be if we lived in a place where when criminals did something wrong, they lost their freedom. They were not allowed to roam the streets. They were not allowed to go back home and sleep at night and think about what crimes they were going to commit the next day. You would probably have 0 retail theft rings operating if all of the criminals who were doing the actual stealing were behind bars. If these crime kingpins who are selling on every single website can't find workers, they're going to have to shut down, not the stores they steal from.
Yeah, because there's only so many Rufuses. Exactly. Yeah, because you go pay Rufus, and then Rufus goes to jail. It's like, oh, fuck. Well, let's go pay Jim. Okay, all right. Jim's doing it for a while, then Rufus. Then Jim's in jail. Fuck. Okay, now I'm out of crackheads. Fuck. What am I going to do? Am I going to have to go in there? What if I go to jail? And the problem solves it.
In a world where everyone who does something wrong is actually a victim of somebody else who deserves it, you don't actually have any criminals, do you? Is that the right attitude? Is it New York City's attitude? What should we do here to stop this out-of-control, peaceful shoplifting epidemic? Let me know. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, I just saw this. I figured I'd watch it. I mean, I'm not really surprised that stuff like this is happening. I mean, like, really, it is a if you make something not against the rules, here's a really good example, right? And like this is I never watched this guy's videos before. It's a really good video. I liked it a lot. Like you know, like in Wrath of the Lich King, how everybody was buying gold. Do you know why everybody buys gold? It's because people don't get banned for it. And if you do get banned, maybe the gold gets deleted and you get a 3-day suspension. So the punishment for buying gold is better than the reward. So if the reward is so good that the punishment doesn't outweigh it, well, then people are just going to keep doing the thing that they'll get in trouble for. It's just what makes sense. So I think this is the exact same thing. I got 2 weeks and my gold removed. Yeah, exactly. But like, let's say you're buying gold for a year and you get a 2-week suspension and you lose that gold that you had. The positives are probably outweighing the negatives. Rich people, corporos and fines, a good example. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the macro example. And this is the smaller example. Answer me. What do you want? What are you getting mad for? What is this? How would you deal with it? Do you think it's ethical to steal a loaf of bread to feed your family? No, I don't. I don't. Because the people that are selling the loaf of bread need to make that money to feed their family. No. It's just the answer is no. Simple, simple, simple. Yeah, is there anything else? Fair enough. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Steal bread, tell the story to the cop. People will buy you food guaranteed. Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of other ways to do it. I mean, like, a lot of... I know, like, here in Austin, there's a lot of resources. Not everywhere there is. But, yeah, that's what my opinion is. Answer and ban them? No. I mean, like, that's just what my opinion on it is. It's that simple. And before the bread seller is the 1%. What if you stole bread from Walmart? Well, if you steal bread from Walmart, there are a lot of people who have their, like, 401ks in Walmart. And so if Walmart's stock goes down, then all of those people lose money. And those people are relying on those 401ks to live their retirement. Also, if enough people steal from Walmart, Walmart will eventually close. And if Walmart closes, then all of the people that work at Walmart won't have a job anymore. And then all of the people that shop at Walmart won't be able to get food there. That's not how it works. And I understand that, like, people think that it's okay to steal from something big. But the problem is that it's only okay whenever you don't think about it. And the more that you think about what the effects of stealing from a store is, the more you're going to realize that it actually hurts everybody. Walmart will move out of the community. Exactly, right? And Walmart is a huge employer, by the way. Like, Walmart is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest employer in the country. I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah. All of those people are now not able to get a job. And is it Amazon now? Yeah, I'm not really sure. But I know that there's a lot of Walmart employees. They don't think about stuff like that at all. Permitting small crimes just breeds big crime. Well, if you put a bunch of small crimes together, you create a big crime. So that's generally not the way it works. I mean, I understand that, like, this might be complex or whatever, but that's not the way that it works. Victimless crime is not real whenever it's about physical people. Well, the people that are talking about victimless crimes are generally talking about victims, people that they don't think are victims. It's crazy the hoops that people jump through to make stealing okay. Not stealing is stealing. You can't logically have... And, like, also, like, here's another reality. Most people are not going to freak out if some random single mom is trying to steal a loaf of bread. That's really not what the big concern is. Like, and that's been accounted for in retail for over 100 years. What people are talking about is, like, people that are coming in and stealing large quantities of things and then running out with them. Send the mom to jail and the baby too? Based. People place such a strong amount of disconnect on the idea of corporations and companies are composed of people too, not some soulless entity. Yeah, of course. Where do you think corporations get their resources from? They stole that shit from less developed countries with bad leaders. I don't think that has anything to do with the fact that people are being employed by the companies and people have stocks in these companies here, and you're hurting those people in a way that I don't think that you have the authority to do so. So, like, just because you think that a company is immoral, like, I think everybody has a different determination of, like, whether a company is immoral or not. Like, I think almost all of us agree that something like Nestle is immoral, but less of us would agree that maybe, Hobby Lobby is immoral, or Chick-fil-A. But there's still a lot of people that believe that. And then I would say even less people believe that something like Wendy's is immoral. So the problem with, like, allowing a person to make their own subjective judgment on, like, what is okay and not okay to steal from, the problem is that before you know it, everything is going to be okay to steal from it because these people want to justify stealing from it. It's so easy to figure out a reason why it's okay for you to do something bad. Society runs on law and order. Yes. Someone from a poor background, justifications for crime really offend me whenever they claim that's in favor of the poor people. The main victims of crime and theft are the poor people. Yeah, they are. Do you think if we were better at taking care of people who would steal, as in better care of communities, it would be less of an epidemic? Absolutely. And that's what I was saying before about approaching a problem from multiple directions, is that if you want this to stop, you have to obviously approach it from 3 or 4 different reasons. Like, you're absolutely right. If people had better social systems and there were less people that, like for example, whenever my mom had food stamps, there was also, like, food banks that she could go to and they would give her a bunch of food. And even locally, there's a lot of, like, very small, like, kind of micro food banks that we have here in Austin that people come to, and they'll put food there, and then, people will come and take the food if they need the food. So all of those things, each one of those things are, like, you think about it as like a Path of Exile or like an MMO character build. All of these things, like, reduce health by like 1% or reduce armor by like 2%. So, like, they're all like 1 and 2% reductions, but if you have enough of them, you get to like a 10% reduction or a 20% reduction, and then that's whenever you really have a big change. But it happens incrementally. Speaking of incrementally, guys, you have to understand that this is Diablo 4's last chance, okay? If they can't get it right this time, the game is done. It's over. This is their last chance. Season 4.
So the Diablo 4 Season 4 dev update live stream just finished. It went over everything we already know, which I covered in the previous video, but they also announced some new information, which are changes effectively coming to the game based upon the feedback that was received in PTR. So we're going to go over those changes in this video. They went through and they started removing some of the annoying things that people were saying in the PTR that shouldn't
Enemies are kind of easy, then they one-shot you. That's what this says. Abso-fucking-lutely. I wish PoE would fix this. This is the one thing I hate about PoE. It's you can be playing the map and everything will be going fine, and then you'll run into an elite, and then it will one-shot you instantaneously.
In there, they started honing those out and smoothing those out, basically, and there's a list of these. For instance, right off the get-go, Paragon experience for your Paragon glyphs has been buffed by 25%. So leveling those glyphs...
That's also a really good thing, too, because I remember whenever I played last, I hit level 100, and a lot of my glyphs weren't even level 15. And I felt like... It felt like it wasn't working the way it was supposed to.
Is going to be easier.
So we've increased the glyph XP by 25%, which is faster leveling.
Failed crystals are now going to be dropping from legendary items because those were a bottleneck before. It used to cost 75 of them to imprint an item from the codex, but now it only costs 16.
We reduced the imprinting cost.
That's also because they're reducing the total amount of items that you receive. So it's like, I think that this cost reduction actually isn't a cost reduction. It's just a rebalancing.
Of aspects quite a bit. So that's really going to help the veiled crystals as well. I think it went from like 75 veiled crystals to imprints on an ancestral armor to 16. We've made it so that legendaries break down into equal amounts of veiled crystals, so you can just not pick up yellow items. It's just a bonus now. We've also made sacred and ancestral items break down into 2 and 3 amounts of salvage. So sacred items will break down into double, Ancestral will break down and triple. So we're effectively tripling the output of a lot of the salvage here.
Yeah,
but
because
also
you're getting
what
way
they
less
did
gear.
was they did some changes based around either the power or the builds of some of the characters. For instance, Druid had a bugged build that was making it infinitely scaling damage, so they removed...
Oh, there's going to be another one of those by the time the patch comes out. I don't know, has there ever been a Diablo 4 season where there wasn't a bug where somebody had infinitely scaling damage? I feel like we haven't had one of those yet. Every single league, somebody finds a bug where they hit the number cap.
That you've probably seen like the crazy Hurricane Boulder Druid or something. They nerfed that. They also nerfed Barbarian. So instead of summoning 5 Dust Elf, was summoning 3. So this whole like full screen cover, you literally can't even see the ground. They removed that as well. So there's going to be some...
That's probably a good idea. Realistically, it's probably a good idea. It's like it's screen clutter. It's obnoxious.
Balancing updates from the PTR that they saw based around character builds. The biggest change, though, that we're going to see in terms of character power is going to be defensively. So not only are they buffing in Season 4 the amount of resistances that you get flat from things like amulets, rings, etc., but they also are reducing the amount of armor that you need. Now armor is just 9,230. When you hit that amount, that is the only amount of armor you're going to need forever. There is no longer this infinitely scaling. As the monsters get higher, you need more and more armor. That's the cap, and all monsters beyond that, you'll have your physical damage reduction of 85%. So
okay, I don't know if that's going to be better or not.
You're going to get your 75% resistances.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You're going to get your 9,230 armor, and then after that, you're basically solved. Except they also buffed Fortify. So Fortify is now going from 10 to 15% damage reduction too. So it's going to be easier to be tankier in this season. They're saying there's way more boss materials dropping from other activities such as world bosses, the caches you get, etc. Even their new Blood Maiden boss that's supposed to show up there at the Helltide is supposed to be dropping.
That's one of the big things, is that it was very annoying that you had to do certain types of gameplay in order to get certain items, whereas like in Path of Exile, you also do have to do certain types of gameplay in order to get invitations, but you can also buy the invitations. Whereas in Diablo 4, there is no alternative. You have to do the content.
Potential of world boss materials, or if you're somebody that hates farming for those boss materials, you should be getting those easier.
A lot of our random
no invitations anymore. Oh, it got changed. Okay.
And things like that. So elites, whisper caches, treasure goblins, world bosses, Hellborn, to name a few, are all going to start randomly dropping these boss materials. So you're not necessarily forced into doing one exact activity.
There should be some better clarity in
that's a good thing. Sounds kind of bad. They're going for more simple. No, what they're doing is they are simplifying their existing systems, because they're adding in, like, I'm not even kidding you, like 5 new systems. So like there is going to be like an overall complexity increase, but the individual depth of some of the existing systems is being removed.
Game as well. For instance, greater affixes now drop with a little star next to them, so they're much easier to determine the items that are on the ground, if they're good or not.
If you want to understand what they're doing with loot, just play just play Last Epoch and you'll understand.
If they're going to have a greater affix or not, you won't miss them as easy as the Roman numerals in the PTR. The greater affixes actually have an icon on them in your inventory, so you can tell which items have greater affixes on them in your inventory without having to like click on them. This was something I actually asked for directly in one of my videos.
That's great.
They have it implemented, so I feel pretty good about that.
That's good.
Speaking of items, oboe gambling is going to be better. Now the oboe gambling will guarantee that you can get 925 items as well, and the oboes can have greater affixes in them too. So if you have like...
Well, I like that, because whenever I was doing the oboe rolling, it felt dumb to do rolls for a lot of the different pieces of gear because of the way item level worked. So that's actually an improvement.
Really good gear for all your spots except for gloves.
Gambling?
Now the oboe
kind of actually.
Gambler will be an easier way for you to acquire good gear for one specific spot. Basically, is their goal with this.
We made the Gambler guarantee 925 legendaries at level 100.
Wow.
And those legendaries can roll greater affixes. So if you blow a ton of obols on two-handers, for example, those two-handed legendaries you're getting are the same as anywhere else in the game.
That's actually really nice.
So it's actually a huge efficiency boost to getting the items you're looking for.
So to be clear, you can get like some of the best items in the game from the Uber vendor now.
Absolutely.
So.
Now, they did address that uniques aren't going to be potentially as good as legendary items because legendary items have tempering and masterworking and all these different things. They addressed this by saying that uniques are supposed to be like guaranteed what you're getting, but they also acknowledge that you can get greater affixes basically on uniques, and you can get up to all of those can have greater affixes too. So because
I think that's silly. I think that uniques should always be very good. Or they should enable a type of gameplay that's unobtainable by anything else.
So that uniques are still good. It's just legendary items fully masterworked and tempered and exactly with the right stats can be even better than uniques, and that's okay. They said the best gear should have a journey, basically, was the way they phrased this. Because there's going to be so much more stats, basically, with masterworking, etc., there is going to be caps on certain bonus stats. For instance, there's caps on CDR. You can only have up to 75% CDR from items, but they specifically mention that's from items. So you can get more CDR elsewhere, and they think that's still plenty enough amount of CDR. They also have a cap.
I think caps on like damage multipliers are kind of boring. I do. I think they're boring.
On area,
maybe it's
radius,
necessary,
for instance,
but
area
to me
of
it's
effect
boring.
is now capped at 100%, and they think that that is a appropriate amount now. And speaking of items, basically, your Resplendent Sparks, the things that allow you to craft Uber Uniques, you can get 3 of them now. 1 from Lilith, 1 from a Torment boss, and 1 from your seasonal, reputation system with the Iron Wolves, I believe is what it was.
Okay,
so
that's
because
pretty
of that,
good.
now you only need 1 more, aka if you get an Uber Unique drop, you can salvage it, get the other Resplendent Sparks from doing the other things in the season, which gives you 4, and now you can craft any Uber Unique you want. So as long as you get your hands on...
That's pretty good. Like, I'm going to be honest. I think that's a pretty decent system. I mean, maybe it could be like refined and I'll have to play it and see how it really is, but it sounds like, okay, not so bad.
1 Uber Unique, you can more or less change that into any Uber Unique that you need for your particular build. Now keep in mind, you only get 1 Resplendent Spark from your first Tormented boss that you do. So you will have to kill Lilith, kill a Tormented boss, and complete your seasonal reputation to get the 3, plus acquire an Uber Unique to get your 4th in order to make any Uber Unique you want.
For Uber Uniques, we've actually added a small chance, a little bit lower than Duriel, to all of the ladder bosses, and they're going to have a chance to drop an Uber Unique as well. So while you're grinding through this ladder, every single boss you kill is going to have a chance to drop an Uber Unique.
I think that's really good because, like, one of the cool things about PoE is that at any time anything can drop. Generally, right? Minus a few exceptions. I think that's a good thing. Like, it's just that, like, obviously you should be able to get a higher chance from stronger monsters. But yeah, having, like, all the bosses have a chance to drop that stuff is great. Do you feel like we need more Uber Uniques? I don't know.
Seasonal bonuses, the season journey now gives you like a set of gear. It's not set gear, but it's a set of gear for a build. So if you're a druid, you get like the pulverize set, for instance. So they're going to give you a bunch of aspects that you need to complete a build by doing the seasonal journeys. So that's one thing to keep in mind, as I suppose if you're...
I find that annoying. I don't like seasonal journeys. I think they're stupid, and everything associated with the battle pass is just another menu that I have to click through that adds no gameplay. I don't really care about it. I think it's silly. Like, I'll do it. It's not a big deal, but, like, I couldn't care less.
Leveling alts, etc. You will be getting sets of aspects for the codex as you are leveling. They didn't mention whether or not these are max rolled aspects, so they might just be minimum. They might be max. We don't know.
You're actually going to be getting a preset curated amount of legendaries as you're going through that are targeted toward a specific build. So we chose a build for every class in Season 4, and we're going to change it around in future seasons. Please give us feedback on this, but we think it'll be pretty cool.
They also buffed the bosses. So before, the Tormented bosses would cost 5 times as much to do, and you would get 5 times as much reward, but now they only cost 3 times as much to do and give you 5 times as much reward. So because of this,
that's probably a good idea. Because if it's only 1 for 1, then people will probably just opt to doing the easier version if the resources are the same. Just to, like, lower risk.
Tormented bosses are now more efficient than just doing the normal bosses, for instance. So you're probably going to be saving up your materials to do the higher level ones. This makes sense because before it was sort of the same ratio and you only maybe saved yourself time and that was it.
It required 5 times the amount of boss materials, including some rare pit material, to summon these. and 5 times the reward. That didn't really feel like the right amount of reward efficiency for taking on something that was challenging, so we've nerfed the cost. It's now 3x the amount of boss material and 5x the reward, so you can get some pretty big efficiency wins there, especially if you're crushing them in the end game.
They also clarified that there is no more fail chance on masterworking. It will guarantee the upgrade. So you just require you get the items you need.
Wow.
You can upgrade the gear. There is no fail chance. So between
that's crazy. Holy shit.
That and the fact that legendary items now give veiled crystals.
Yeah, there's no honing. Exactly. Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Imprinting the aspects costs significantly less. The whole items, tempering, masterworking, etc. should be less annoying as it was in the PTR and just smoother, better quality of life experience. And another quality of life, World Tier 2 now has experience bonus as well.
They should have had this in day 1. I'm glad that they're finally doing it.
Added even more experience starting from World Tier 2 onwards.
Yeah, World Tier 2 is more fun to do.
3, and 4 XP. So
that's
finally super well. You can just get to blast to endgame very quickly now.
Now they did mention about the pit that they have made it slightly more difficult because they think people were blasting through the pit like way too easy, getting to the end game of the pit basically, and they want that to be a progression, a smooth, easy progression. So the pit will be harder once it arrives on May 14th.
From the PTR, we actually got feedback that it was way too easy. So we've taken a look and we've moved some of the masterworking material tiers around. Previously, the tier 1 masterworking materials only came from 1 to 20. We've moved that up.
Pits are greater rifts.
So tier 1 will come from 1 to 29. Tier 2 will come from 30 to 59.
Bro, they need to fix these bosses. Like, they really need to, like, the next thing, like, now that they've got loot under control, they need to do, like, a revamp of every single boss in the game, minus, like, maybe Duriel and, like, a couple of other ones. Because so many of the bosses in Diablo 4 are just so lame and boring and stupid. Like, they're just awful.
And tier 3 will be 60 plus. It just makes the journey feel a little bit more rewarding, right? Like we saw in the PTR that people just like within the first 2 hours just blasted through all of it because they're so powerful.
The Helltides have been buffed once again. For instance, the Blood Maiden that gives rewards now gives even more substantial rewards.
That's pretty good.
So they are continuing to improve upon the Helltide reward system. They also have added more Cinder Drops to the Helltide just in general. They thought that the Cinder Drops were lower than were expected, so they decided to buff that overall. There's also basically like a brain that you eat that's going to give you 10 levels to the monsters, which also increase Cinder Drop rate. So this is
also good. This is a lot of this sounds pretty decent, guys. I'm going to be honest.
Way that you can buff
this
the
seems pretty decent.
Further if you would like in exchange for even more cinders.
It's a guaranteed drop from the Hellborn, and when you consume it, for the next 60 minutes, Helltide monsters are going to be boosted up to 10 levels depending on the world tier that you consumed it in. You're also going to be increasing their aberrant cinder drop rates.
So this dev live stream seemed much more upbeat. The changes that I mentioned were all pretty much good ones and directly asked for from the PTR. Seemed to like a lot more positive energy on this one. So we'll see May 14th when Season 4 comes out how exactly it feels to actually play it. But all of these changes listed were pretty good ones and ones I directly saw people asking for from the feedback. So that's about it. Love you all. See you on the next video.
You know, I'm thinking about the trajectory of the game, and it's really funny imagining the fact that by the time that they really get all of these systems down and like min-maxed and well-designed, the expansion's going to come out, and it's going to ruin everything again. Yeah. So I'm thinking about this because like right now they're probably about halfway done with min-maxing the game, and the game's been out for almost a year, and I bet the expansion is going to come out in less than a year. That's a minus $120. Yeah, exactly. Cough up another 100, you idiots. May 14th is going to be a good time. Holy fuck, man. Yeah, there's the video. Make sure to give it a like. I'm gonna try to play the new season of Diablo 4. I am. I'm gonna try to give it a shot and see how it goes. When they're finally done, PoE 2 will be out. Yeah, I mean, I think that people will still go back and play Diablo if it's fun. The alternate dev team, so the season 4 was the A team. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in season 5 if that's really true. You know. You're gonna make the numbers spike? Well, I hope so. I hope people play the game. Like, I hope the game is good. I mean, I don't have like negative feelings about Diablo 4. I just wish the game was better. Yeah, I mean, damn. It's not that complicated. How'd the original Blizzard devs develop WoW so it doesn't load the bank of every player each time? I don't know. It's a mystery. It's forgotten knowledge. Nobody knows how it works. Season 4 is going to last 6 months. Think about it. I don't think so. Have you watched the Trackman AAA video? I probably should, but I haven't done it yet. Hope so, because it costs to deliver here in Brazil. Yeah, it's nuts, man. What's this here? To be honest, it's a negative take. You think so? Like, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like the Diablo 4 team is doing better. They're doing better, and I will always be positive whenever things are improving. Because I just feel like if you're not positive even whenever things are improving, then it's like what incentive do people have to improve if you're just going to hate everything no matter what? They're trying. Yeah, they're trying to improve it, and I will at least give them that. And I don't want to go through and be like, okay, they've learned their lesson and, you know, everything's going to be better now. But all I'm saying is that I'm glad it's getting better, and it is a game that I've already paid for, so any content that I get beyond that is just more on the top. So yeah. There's a Starfield. Oh yeah, speaking of Starfield, there's actually a Starfield update. That's right, gentlemen. Starfield, everybody's favorite game, has received an update. This is a big...
Hi, I'm Jess Finster, Community Director at Bethesda, and I'm here today at Bethesda Game Studios to talk to you all about the next update coming to Starfield. The team has been hard at work, so let's go chat with them to see what they've been working on. So with Update 4 on the horizon, what are some of the new features that players have to look forward to?
So we see a lot of feedback online that players really want a lot more utility and detail in our surface maps. So we took what
True. Yeah.
it's there, we blew it all up, and instead now we have
Wow.
a whole new aesthetic to the surface maps where you can see the terrain, all the detail in the terrain, trees, rocks, all the structures in the loaded zone. It's a lot easier to navigate.
So they added a map.
We've also made it easier to get around the cities. You can see markers for all the shops, the enhanced boutiques, restaurants, you name it, it's all there. It's a lot easier to get around now.
With Update 4, we're also adding a bunch of gameplay options. So for that, players can really tune their experience how they prefer.
Couldn't you just do this with console commands? Or mods? Yeah,
we're adjusting things like capacity of vendor credits, the actual carry weight. Additionally, affects
I just...
Additionally, affects to difficulty. So some of those, depending on how you play, you can actually tune to be like space combat more difficult or gun combat less difficult. It's really up to you. And depending on how you balance them, it'll change how you get XP.
That's awesome. So you're really upping the ante for players that want an even bigger challenge.
Yeah, and with that, we actually are adding what's called the extreme difficulty. It sits above very hard, and it really, really makes you pay attention, especially for the higher level characters.
I guarantee you it won't. Like, I guarantee you, if I ever go back and play this game again, I like it won't. I bet, so this is what I think the new difficulty will do, is it will probably increase the health and damage of all NPCs by around 20%. I think that's probably what will happen. You think it'll be 200%? Oh, maybe, yeah.
How about ship customization? I know players are really capitalizing on all of the ship content in the game, and we've seen some really crazy stuff out there that I'm sure you guys have seen as well. But are you adding anything more to the ship customization?
Yeah, so people love to customize their ships. Like there
were a lot of dick ships. Those are my favorite. Yeah, the ship customization in Starfield, I will say, is probably the only thing about the game that I would say is genuinely very good. Like, I would say everything else in the game isn't very good, and the ship customization is the only thing that is.
Builds out there are just mind-blowing. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff. So now we're turning our attention to the inside of the ships. So we're adding a decorate mode where you can go and fully furnish and customize.
That's actually pretty good.
The interior layout of the ships.
Yeah, that's nice.
Furniture, decorations, basically everything you can do in outpost mode. We can now do in the ship, and it's saved, and you can do that to your entire fleet. In addition to decorate mode, we're also offering a whole new set of empty habs. So basically, instead of pre-cluttered habs in the ship builder, we'll have a new set where there's no furniture, there's no decoration, nothing. It's a total blank slate, so players can just kind of fill it up with their own
stuff. That's nice. That's amazing. I'm gonna have to say it. That's actually pretty decent.
Get to emulate whatever their personality showcase is outside on the inside. Then.
Yeah, exactly.
New Game Plus. Is there anything being added to this update that helps the players after they've completed the campaign to return to the game?
Campaign?
Yeah, so if you're like me,
what's that?
And you find the more you go through the Unity, the more you become the hunter. The one thing I want to do is be able to respect
what the hell's the
traits.
Unity?
So we're adding that. So in case you're getting tired of Wanted or want to change your alien DNA, and you really want that new dream home experience.
Is that like the quest? Because I did the quests in the game for like 1.5 days. And I wanted to build a building so I could jump off of the building. Like, it's not even that I wanted to just jump off the building, because that wouldn't be enough. I wanted to build it too. It was so bad. Like, let me see how many people are playing it. Starfield. That's more than I had expected. I'm going to be honest. That is way more than I had expected.
You get to choose that when going through the Unity. In addition, you'll be able to rechange your appearance.
Really living that.
I'm gonna change my hair.
Life, huh?
Exactly.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you guys want to share about this update that players have to look forward to? I mean, you've already shared a lot as it is.
We're focusing now on our Xbox Series X players with this update. We're giving them some settings where they can help prioritize between performance or visual.
Look at this. What the fuck is this? Look at this. Is so fucking sad. Frame rate target is 30. It's 30 frames per second. Oh, we want to help our Xbox players out. We're trying to get them 30 frames. Man. Not suggested for a frame rate target of 60 or above. So they can't even do it on 60? Oh my God.
If they choose to prioritize performance, the target FPS will move to 60.
So it went 30 or 60. There's not like a menu. You just have 30 or 60.
And for players that have TVs that support VRR, they'll be able to choose between VRR 40 or VRR 60.
In addition to the new features we just talked about, there are a couple of quality of life updates that we're introducing. One of them is you can now toggle dialogue cameras off. So instead of getting that
Thank God.
sort of focus zoom in on whatever NPC you're talking to. It just stays in normal default camera mode. It's a little more immersive that way. Some players may prefer that.
Love it.
In addition to that, we're making the container and barter menus a bit more usable. We've added some tabs along the top, so it's easier to sort of see what.
Didn't they do that with a mod? Because I remember seeing there was a mod that did this on like the second day. But like, I mean, I guess it's like, I mean, all right, that's. I mean, you know.
Container or what inventory you're looking at, whether it's yourself or your ship. And it's just easier to navigate. Basically, inventory and item management, it's a small thing, but it actually, I think, makes it a lot nicer.
So, Tim, we just talked to Joe and East.
Well, there it is. It's the fucking visor. Who the fuck wears a visor?
It's fun. A little bit about Update 4 and what's coming, but is there anything else that you want to talk about that's down the horizon?
So the team is working on our first land vehicle, so you can drive around.
Great. Great. Awesome.
On planets. Obviously, we're working on more quests and the massive shadow.
Please, no more quests. Please don't do it. Please don't make me do another quest.
Space expansion.
That's all very exciting. What about creations?
Oh, that's right. I forgot all about the fact that, so I remember I bought the deluxe loser, like, whale, you know, milk me harder edition, and it was like $100. I forgot they were doing an expansion. Yeah, I guess so.
You can share there.
I think we mentioned it earlier this year, but we've sent out our beta toolkit to verified creators, so hopefully more information on that soon.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Tim.
Hey, no problem, Jess.
That's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us and for your continued feedback. Just a reminder, the update is available in Steam Beta today and will be available on all platforms later this month. So we'll see you in the stars.
It's a pretty decent update. I'll have to give it to him. This is a pretty it's pretty decent. Like, it's for nothing. No, I mean, like, to be fair, it could have been a lot worse, guys. It could have been way worse. And so I'm thinking about it from that perspective. That how bad could this have really been, realistically? It could have been crazy bad. So this update changed the game. The thing is, like, if they added the vehicles into the game, I would probably go back and try it out. So here's another thing, is that the experience modifiers are too small. Like, I played Starfield a lot. And, like, I don't even know what happens in the story. But I know the systems in the game, and I know how they work. I know them very well. I'm level 200 in Starfield. The problem with making the experience higher is that the frequency of killing mobs is so low that you're never really going to be able to make progress versus just like mass crafting. Like, mass crafting is infinitely more efficient than, than killing NPCs, which is not the way the game should work. It's a good point. Yeah, it won't even change anything. The vehicles will be exclusively on the expansion. Cyberpunk had some personality. Yes. This update does remind me to play Cyberpunk. You're right about that. I think that Cyberpunk, we might continue that. I don't know when. Like, I don't know. Like, because there's just so much going on right now. There's so many games that I'm playing, right? I mean, like, I don't know what to say. Yeah, after Wuthering Waves. Oh, yeah, that's coming out soon, too. I forgot all about that. Ghost is coming up? No, I don't know. Like, they would have told me. Is this a No Man's Sky level of redemption? No, this is like a Season 3 Diablo 4 level of redemption, where it's like, actually, no, it's Season 1, where, like, a few things are a little bit better, but other than that, it's still pretty much the same game. Starfield is, I don't think it's the worst game that's ever been made. I don't. It is not the worst game that's ever been made. I think that there are a number of games that are worse than Starfield. Now, is it a good game? I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I think that the Starfield story loses to Dragonflight. I think Dragonflight is better. Somebody's got to say it. I don't understand, man. Those improvements should be out of the box. It's a shame they're represented as an update compared to Dragon's Dogma 2. Well, I like Dragon's Dogma. Okay, so the story, which story is worse? Dragon's Dogma 2 or Starfield? Starfield is worse. And the reason why is that it's more annoying. So Dragon's Dogma, in terms of quality, they're both 0. Like, if I was going to rate the story of Dragon's Dogma, I would rate it a 1. And if I was going to rate the story of Starfield, I would also rate it probably a 1. However, in Dragon's Dogma, you can effectively ignore the entire story and it doesn't matter. Whereas in Starfield, it's harder to do that. So yeah, it's like at least in Dragon's Dogma, the story is more optional. Didn't you not finish Starfield story? I didn't. I have no idea what happens in the story. I went to some area and they gave me some power that I used to where I could loot more items, and then that was it. What about Stellar Blade? The story in Stellar Blade is better than both of them. I think the story in Honkai Star Rail is better than both of them. The story in Helldivers 2 is better than both of them, and it's not even existent. Here's the bad one. The story in Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is better. That's bad. That's real bad. That's a low blow. Yeah, it's a kick in the dick. Honkai Star Rail is good. Yeah, I want to finish the rest of the story, because isn't a new patch coming out next week? I'm pretty sure there is, right? Having the option to turn off dialogue mode is a big plus for me. The first non-horse Bethesda land vehicle, truly historic. I don't know how it's happened that Bethesda has an audience. I'm going to say it. Bethesda has an audience of boring, cringe, annoying, fucking generic, Funko Pop addicted millennials that celebrate whenever they do something that is equivalent to learning how to take a shit in a toilet. Oh, wow. Finally, they're not shitting on the floor anymore. Ah! Fuck, man. How do people put up with this shit? Same with WoW? Yes. These are people that get excited about the new Star Wars movie. They're being sarcastic? Yeah. Disney Star Wars isn't real Star Wars? Yeah, I know. Are you planning on playing Wuthering Waves? Yes, I will play Wuthering Waves on release. Of course. Why would I not play the game? Yeah, it's another game. New Moist Critical video. He's suing U.S. immigration. Good. Fucking good. Like, at a certain point, incompetence needs to be held accountable. And also keep in mind that whenever he wins, if he wins, Man, I can't wait to give him my money. Isn't that great? We're all going to have to pay for this. Ooh, wow. I hope he wins. I do too, but like I'm going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to pay for it. Everybody's going to have to pay for it. There's no payout? Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, they should at least try to sue for... I'm surprised they're not trying to sue for monetary damages. If he wins, no one's held accountable and no one gets payment. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's so ridiculous. You know, I'll pay for incompetent government. Will you play Zenless Zone Zero? Of course I will. Yeah. I'm trying to have the new policy of always playing every new game. And it's hard to do, right? But that's what my goal is I want to play all of the new games, and I want to try to, you know, at least have like my first day of it. And I'm not going to do every new game, obviously, but I would like if we had a way to have like maybe viewers suggest new games that are coming out. Try another Crab's Treasure. If I go live earlier than 5 p.m. tomorrow, I will play the game tomorrow. How about that? I already bought the game. I've already installed it. I have it ready. Yeah, Hollow X is released? Oh my god. Like, maybe we should have like a weekly video game release thread on my Reddit. I think we probably need that. Like, what are games like that are new games that are coming out, etc. Yeah, I think that would be a very good thing. Do you think Star Citizen will release before 2034? Yeah, I think so. You playing V Rising release? Oh my god. Yeah, it's just there's so many of these that I have to go through, and I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, keep it a monthly mega thread or something? Yeah, or maybe like a weekly or daily thread of like new games. I wish there was just a way that people could like send me dates and games so I could plan for it. To be honest, playing every release is unrealistic. Well, of course, whenever I say I try to play every release, it doesn't mean I'm going to play every release. It just means that I'm going to play a lot of the releases that I enjoy. Yeah, make an Excel sheet. Yeah, I know Chance has one of those. And tell your mod to make a thread about it, then compile it into an Excel sheet. Like, yeah, exactly. Need an assistant? Yeah. Bro, I need an assistant to help me keep track of what video games to play. That is a bullshit job. Like, I'm sorry, like, that is a seriously fucking bullshit job. Appreciate the conversation with Hassan over your stream. Yeah, I did. So I'm gonna go eat, and I'll probably maybe stream in like a couple of hours. As I said, like today is the first day that I haven't had like 5 things that I needed to do. So I slept in a lot, and I kind of started stream pretty early. I'm gonna go eat, and I'll probably maybe try to stream in maybe a few hours, just like do some gameplay, and go from there. That's Stellar Blade. I might try to get caught up with Honkai Star Rail first, so I'm ready for the new patch. And then after that, I will, what do you call it? I'll go back and finish Stellar Blade. It will probably only take 1 or 2 days. Please finish Honkai Star Rail. Yeah, I just want to finish the whole thing. But let's see, 6 Acheron. Yeah, exactly, right? No Rest for the Wicked CEO's base as fuck. Did you see? No, I didn't see that. Yeah, we had a good time today. Let's see. I'll read the rest of these. What are you going to eat? What do you think I'm going to eat? Dick? Shut up. Chipotle. Yes, I'm getting steak. I'm getting Chipotle with steak. That's right. I'm going to go do that, and I'll be back in a little while, probably. And probably just do some just raw gaming, you know? Chilling. But anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. I'll be back on later. All right, boys. Peace. See ya.
See the trail from every angle. Tacoma Trail Hunter.
Okay, well, I'm dead, I guess.
If I don't see you buy an
Made over
inversion
first
table
try.
for
Well,
your
I guess
race this year, it's on site. Kevin Turtle.
Does the laser move? Like, what else was I supposed to do there besides just crawl under it?
Jump on the box next to it and jump over it.
No. The one before that, the one where you're literally just supposed to crawl under it.
I think there might be pipes to the right that you're supposed to go into. I'm not 100%. I can't remember that one. That one wasn't there. I just had the one in front of the box, and then I forget what the other one was.
I mean, we did it before this. It worked fine. Just crawl under it.
Yeah.
So, you probably have what, about 5.5 hours now?
I don't know.
Are you just still laying there, by the way?
No.
No, you respawned. Okay. I was gonna say, if you were in cap, I can pick you up. But just grab the med pen from somewhere. Well, we can go down in mine. When I say mine, I mean we can go down to outside of Comare range and kill the inmates, take their rocks and keep running back.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, that's why we break out.
That's the surefire way.
Yeah.
It's also the really annoying way.
It's 87, 81. We could try breaking out again if lasers work.
I'm just sad, guys. I'm sad. I'm failing. Yeah. I don't know if I just didn't take my time and really assess the situation there, if something went wrong, like with the game, or if I'm doing that area wrong. So I'm just a little annoyed.
Alright, Orson. Fucking here.
You know where the rental is?
I don't know where fucking anything is.
All right, once you leave the ASOP area and you're going towards like the spaceport, the elevators for the spaceport, there's going to be a counter on your left when you're coming down the stairs. And there'll be
elevators to the hangar. I'm going up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the path down pretty decent. I could probably escape on my own eventually in this. I probably would still have to kind of look at some areas and be like, where the fuck do I go from here? But
I go right, you said?
When you're going through the ASOP terminals. Oh yeah, you've never been to Orson. All right. So once you're done with the ASOP, you're gonna want to turn around.
This direction.
Okay, there you go.
Got it.
Yeah.
Dude. I have eyeballs. I'm literate. Got this.
Got it. Orson pretty much also has all your military components, so you could probably pick up everything there that you need if you really wanted to.
I don't want to fucking go any further than I need to. Great, fantastic. Their touch screens don't work.
What's going on with my NPC? Hello?
Oh, thank goodness. It's working. Oh.
No, I fucked up. Oh, it worked. Okay. Oh. Yay. Sometimes I forget that my sprint isn't toggle. And I'll let go of it thinking it's going to keep going on its own. Some other games are toggle.
Oh, I click the hold so I make sure I'm actually sprinting. Someone's firing. there.
I can't rent the fucking Cuddy.
You can't rent a Cuddy? What can you rent?
The only thing I can get, does an Aurora have space for more people? I can get the Andromeda, but that seems a little excessive.
Well, the Andro's pretty fired in this patch.
That's great.
I mean, the Aurora, yes, you could fit us in inside the Aurora. One will just have to stand, and the other one's laying down.
That's fine. We'll take the fucking Andromeda. I mean, it's a 200K one-day rental.
Yeah. I mean.
Hey everyone, so I spent thousands of dollars in preparation for this video because 2023 was a massive year for true wireless earbuds. And today I'll be awarding the best of the best in 8 categories. Within each category, there will be premium, mid-range, and budget options. I've got buds ranging from $20 US all the way to $400. And I wanted to structure the awards like this so you can see the solid value you get even at a lower price. So let's get straight into it, starting with category 1, the best noise cancelling. First, how I test my noise cancelling. I play simulation plane and crowd noise on my soundbar. So I'm testing the bud's ability to block low, middle, and high frequency, consistent as well as inconsistent sounds. And the winner here is the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra earbuds. If it's simply the strongest noise cancelling you're after, these are the pair to go for. The Bose QC2 were originally ranked #1 with the XM5s just behind. The QC2 blocked out slightly more plain noise. Voices was about the same, but now the QC Ultra blocks out even more plain noise than the QC2. They also cancel out voices and higher frequency sounds slightly better. Now, why do they call it the Ultra earbuds? Well, they do have spatial audio now, which is like most spatial audio, it's pretty gimmicky. There's only one earbud that does spatial audio properly, and it will be featured here today. They also have aptX lossless for high-res streaming, but like the QC2, they still don't have multi-point connection or wireless charging. The sound hasn't been improved, and the call quality is still average. They still sound fine, but you might be better off going for the Sony WF XM5s or Jabra Elite 10, because the noise cancelling is still pretty close, and they are better buds overall. AirPods Pro 2 also up there with noise cancelling. If you're in the Apple ecosystem, a no-brainer. But pure noise cancelling performance, the Quiet Comfort Ultra are insane. But now the best mid-range noise cancelling goes to the Soundcore Liberty 4 NC. And I would say these are kind of a cross between budget and mid-range because they retail for $99 US. But they're still up there in my noise cancelling ranking with buds almost double their price. And you can spend a little bit more, get the One More Evo, which has slightly stronger noise cancelling, but the 4NC are just a better overall bud because you get a great bass boost to tuning, which you can still tweak to your liking because the Soundcore app is the best on the market. You can customize everything, you get multi-point connection, LDAC. These are one of the few buds that I've reviewed without a fault. But what's that? Do you want noise cancelling just as strong as a 4NC for almost half the price? Well, the budget award is going to the Edifier TWS 1 Pro 2. Just as good, if not slightly better than a 4NC when it comes to blocking out voices. And you still get great sound quality. You only get EQ presets, so no band customization, and the controls are a bit limited with no single tap or long hold for some reason. If you want all of those features, the runner-up here is the Earphone Air Pro 3, because you get noise cancelling that's not as strong, still great for the price, but you get all the customization the One Pro 2 is missing. Now, category 2 is earbuds with the best comfort. Now, this is a bit tricky because obviously we all have different ears, but I'm compiling my own experience here as well as hundreds of comments that I've read. And the premium winner is the Jabra Elite 10. The fit here is kind of a hybrid in-ear, semi-in-ear fit because they use interesting angled ear tips, so you are stuck with them. But with those, you get no suction or pressure, and it just feels incredibly comfortable. They're pretty secure for me as well. I can exercise with them with no issues. And they're just a solid all-round earbud, great sound quality, Great noise cancelling, great app customization. Also a pretty hard bud to fault. Now the runner-up here is the AirPods Pro 2, because they work great for me as well as tons of other people out there. You probably see people wearing them all day. I wear mine all day when editing videos, but I've also read them not working for a lot of people in the comments. So if you like your stem style and want to spend a little bit less, next best option are the Nothing Ear 2. Similar fit to the AirPods, but even more compact. So if you have smaller ears, this should work better for you. And these are just another solid all-round earbud that have everything you need. But if you don't like earbuds with stems, then the Sony Link Buds S are the next best pair to go for. They're not only one of the smallest buds I've tested, more importantly, they're the thinnest, which is why it just seems to work for people with smaller ears. But even if you have larger ears like me, they still fit great. And I've not read one negative comment when it comes to the Link Buds when it comes to the Link Buds fit. Gonna keep it as up. Now, an even cheaper bud with the same reputation in the comments, as well as my own ears, is the Soundcore Space A40. These aren't as thin as the Link Buds, but you get a very light feel in the ear canal, and you also get all the features of the Link Buds S with slightly weaker noise cancelling and sound quality, so a bit of an older bud, but still a great option today. But now let's go even cheaper. The budget award here is going to the Soundpeats Mini HS. Also a very compact bud, and you get a moderately deep fit. You still get pretty strong noise cancelling, LDAC high-res audio, and full EQ customization in the rather buggy Soundpeats app, but at least there is one. Now, while we talk about comfort here, you might be someone that doesn't like anything digging into your ear canal, so the next category is going to be earbuds with a semi-in-ear fit or an open ear fit. And the overall winner today is the Nothing Ear Stick. For the last 2 years, the AirPods 3 have been the pinnacle of semi-in-ear sound, especially when it comes to bass. But the Ear Stick has stuck it to the AirPods. I tried. Because once you EQ the Ear Stick and ramp up the bass, it's neck and neck. The AirPods still have more mid-bass and forward mid-range. The Ear Stick, slightly more sub-bass and crisp treble. But on the Ear Stick, you get full EQ customization, control customization, so you can add volume control on the earbuds, and you get noise cancelling that's actually pretty strong considering the buds don't have an ear tip. It just picks up wind very easily, so you only want to use that noise cancelling when you're inside. But these are all pretty massive features the AirPods 3 just don't have, and they're half the price as well. As long as you don't mind the lipstick case, it's fun to play with though. And look, I still use the AirPods 3 just because I'm in the Apple ecosystem and I do like using those when I just want to hear my surroundings. So AirPods sort of the runner-up, but another bud I need to mention here is the JBL Live Flex. Similar price to the AirPods, but these buds have some crazy bass. More than the AirPods and Ear Stick, especially when it comes to sub-bass. You do need to turn on noise cancelling and EQ the buds a lot to get the most out of the sound, but if you like electronic music or bass-heavy music, these are the semi-in-ear bud for you. Now the budget award here is going to the Soundpeats Air 4 and Air 3 Deluxe HS. Because with both buds, you get sound quality pretty close to the more expensive pairs. The Air 4 is pushing out a similar amount of bass to the Ear Stick. You also get aptX lossless, multi-point connection, EQ customization, but they do need a bit of EQing to improve the sound because the mids and treble are not the best. If you want better mids and treble, go for the Air 3 Deluxe HS. You don't get multi-point connection, but you still get LDAC, which is more common anyway. Sub-bass is not on the level of the Air 4, but you get much better clarity. Now onto the best open ear earbud. Being transparent here, I haven't tested all the open ear earbuds out there. There's still quite a lot I need to get to. But one bud worth pointing out are the Shox Open Fit. Mainly for how they fit, which makes sense. It's a Shox Open Fit. But these buds are just so well designed and built. Super compact, smooth silicone, a slim ear hook, and nothing digs into your ear canal, so the comfort is just the best. It's the most comfortable thing I've tested. The only downside of the driver not resting in your ear canal is that you're not getting sound quality that you would get with the semi-in-ear fit, especially at high volume since the drivers are working overtime to push out bass. So they sound great with full bass below 70% volume, but when you start to go past that on bass-heavy songs, there is some noticeable distortion, so that's something to keep in mind. And I pointed this out in my review, but a lot of people still love them, so I've got to mention them. Now, category number 4 is the best call quality. And most earbuds today, if you're in a quiet room, even like in a shopping center, cafes, a busy road, most earbuds perform pretty well. Where most earbuds struggle is with wind noise. So I created a mini city in my studio here, and I'll leave you with all the samples once we go through the awards. Starting with the premium winner, the Beats Studio Buds Plus. It wasn't the loudest at picking up voice, but it just blocked everything out. Really impressive. The runner-up is the Jabra Elite 10, closely followed by the Jabra Elite 8 Active, then the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro and Denon Pearl Pro. The mid-range winner is the Sony Link Buds S, actually better than the Sony XM5, to my surprise. Runner-up is the Soundcore Liberty 4, very close to the Link Buds, followed by the Nothing Ear 2 and JBL Live Pro 2, also held up well enough. Now the budget earbuds really struggled, but the Earfun Air Pro 3 was the best, followed by the Soundpeats Mini Pro HS and the Soundpeats Capsule 3 Pro, also just usable. But now here are all the samples of the top 2 earbuds for each category, starting with the budget, and we'll work our way up to the premium earbuds. Alright, so I'm currently recording the audio of my iPhone 12 Pro microphone. I've got some city noise being played off the speaker there, and some construction noise being played off the speaker in the corner over there, and the giant fan in front of me. So let's see how all the microphones sound. Alright, so here is the call quality of the Soundpeats Mini Pro HS. Getting my head nice and close to the fan here. Alright, so here is the call quality of the Earfun Air Pro 3. Getting my head nice and close to the fan here right now. Alright, so here is the call quality of the Soundcore Liberty 4. Getting my head nice and close to the fan here right now at all angles. Alright, so here is the call quality of the Sony LinkBuds S. Getting my head nice and close to the fan here right now. Alright, so here is the call quality of the Jabra Elite 10. Getting my head nice and close to the fan here right now. Alright, so here is the call quality of the Beats Studio Buds Plus. Getting my head nice and close to the fan here right now. Testing. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, now before we talk about the next category, I need to give you the rundown on today's sponsor, SpinFit. Because you probably spend a decent amount of money on earbuds, I obviously do, and you might not even be... The value you can get in the budget earbud market today is seriously impressive. So today I'll be scoring and ranking the best budget earbuds under $100 in 10 categories. I've also created a spreadsheet that allows you to customize the scoring to what matters most for you. Now the buds I've chosen here just have to have a retail price of under $100. A lot of the buds are a lot cheaper than that, some going even below $50. Now let's start with category 1, comfort. Now this is always a tricky category to score because we all have different ear shapes and sizes. So I'm keeping the scoring pretty close here, but I'll explain the buds in a way to see if they actually work for you. So here are all the scores, the Sony 700s with the lowest score of 7 out of 10. Because they do have the deepest fit. Not saying a deeper fit is necessarily bad, I personally don't mind a deep fit, but with this, they have the most suction and pressure in the ear canal. Tozer NC7 have a similar deep fit, but with slightly less pressure. Edifier Pro 2 and Earfun Free Pro 3 also with a 7.5, as they're just larger earbuds that might not work well if you do have larger ears, but they do have a nice light feel in the ear canal. And all the buds with a score of 8 have less pressure in the ear and just have a lighter feel overall. The 3 buds with an 8.5 have a slightly lighter feel. The Redmi Buds 5 Pro are going to work the best with smaller ears and if you like a more shallow fit. OnePlus Buds 3 also very close there, and the CMF Buds Pro still have a light feel, they're just slightly deeper. So here it really depends on what kind of fit you prefer. Now category 2 is the security of the fit. And I test all of my earbuds during my weight training sessions and I take them all on a quick run. So to keep this simple, I'm scoring most of the buds at 8. All the buds work great for me when weight training, where I'm only really having to readjust a couple of times throughout my workouts. The Earfun Free Pro 3 get a 9 as you get 2 sizes of wingtips to increase the stability, and those wingtips will work if you have small or large ears. I have very large ears, as you can see, and most wingtips don't really do much for me. These wingtips though are one of the few that actually work for me. The Galaxy Buds FE have one wingtip that doesn't really do much for me with my giant ears, but if you have normal sized ears or smaller ears, you can take advantage of this. And you have the option to use no wingtip on both pairs. Now when running, all the stem style earbuds generally work better as the weight of the stem holds the bud in place better. So this will minimize bodyborne noise from the impact you make on the ground and your own heavy breathing. The Sony 700s have quite a bit, to the point where I find the bodyborne noise too distracting when running. Tozer NC7s have a noticeable amount, but it's not as bad. And the rest of the buds are okay, some are better than others. If you want all of these nitty gritty details, it's in my spreadsheet, which is linked below. Now here's the dust and water resistant rating with all the earbuds. So all the buds with an IPX4 rating, that's going to be fine for sweat and splashes of water. Use in like heavy rain should be okay, but it's not guaranteed. You'd be safer in heavy rain with an IPX5 or 6. And some of the buds also have dust resistance, with the 5 replacing that X. Only the Galaxy Buds FE have an IPX2 rating, which isn't suited for sweat, splashes of water, and you definitely don't want to get caught in rain with them. Now, category 3 is case and battery life. Now, this is also a tricky one to score. The main considerations here is going to be earbud battery, total battery, case size, and if a case has wireless charging. Only the Soundcore Liberty 4NC and Earfun Free Pro 3 have wireless charging. In terms of case size, the most important factor is going to be how thick or how thin the case is. So here is my case thin ranking, with the thinnest case at the top. but even the Sony 700 is still pretty compact, as you can see it here compared to the thinnest case, as well as the middle thinnest case. Something to note is the CMF Buds Pro case looks thick since it's not rounded, and it's definitely the most unique looking case, nothing following with their classic out there designs. Now to make this nice and easy, here is all the scoring I'm giving out, as well as the advertised amounts that you're getting. Soundpeats, Tozo, and Xiaomi are the only brands that don't advertise the battery life you get with noise cancelling on, which I just find super annoying. And the Tozo NC7 battery is insane with noise cancelling off. You usually lose about 1/3 of the battery with noise cancelling on, so the numbers I put in there are just estimations. The main things to note here is the low earbud battery on the Edifier TWS1 Pro 2 and Soundpeats Air 4 Pro, giving you only around 4 hours. And the total battery life is only 15 hours on the Sony 700s, so you'll have to be charging that case up a lot more often. Now the standout here is the Earphone Free Pro 3, and they're one of the cheaper buds today. The Soundcore Liberty 4 NC is the best overall, as long as you don't mind a slightly thicker case. Now onto category number 4, controls. The main things I'm looking for here is the amount of touch control functions that you get, if you get wearing detection and if it actually works, and the amount of customization that you get. And it's all over the place here. To make this nice and easy, we'll run through one earbud at a time. So the Edifier Pro 2 get a 6.5, as you only get a double and triple tap. You can customize each earbud and add volume or voice assistant, but you're still going to be pretty limited. You do get wearing detection that works well, but it will activate if you place your bud on a surface if the sensor is covered. The Galaxy Buds FE get a 7. You can customize a long hold, so if you want to add volume or voice assistant, you have to lose your ambient control. The wearing detection only works when you take both earbuds out, but you do get always on Bixby, which is going to be on a Samsung device only. The Soundpeats Air 4 Pro get a 7.5, as you get a single, double, triple tap, and long hold. You can control everything except skipping tracks back, but you don't get any customization. You do get wearing detection that works great, but you can't customize the ambient control switching. So you're locked to having to switch between transparency, noise cancelling on, and noise cancelling off. Every other earbud allows you to customize this, so you can switch between, let's just say, noise cancelling on and transparency only. Now the Tozo NC7 get a 7.5. You get full control with decent customization. The wearing detection works well unless the sensor is face down on a surface and you can't turn that wearing detection off. Sony get a 7.5 as well. They're the only pair with physical button controls. And you can control everything with a quad tap to adjust volume up and down. You get barely any customization though, and there is no wearing detection, but at least you get everything you need. Now we've got 3 buds with an 8. The Soundcore 4NC have full customization with everything you need. The wearing detection works great, and the sensor can face down on a desk without activating. The CMF Buds Pro have the same amount of control, but the wearing detection will activate face down on a desk. And the Earphone Free Pro 3 doesn't have wearing detection, but you get the best freedom of customization. With each function, you have the option to set whatever you like to it. Where with all the other earbuds, you're going to be slightly limited to what you can add. Now the Redmi Buds 5 Pro get an 8.5. You have the ability to control everything with solid customization, and the wearing detection actually works even if you put your bud in your pocket, for example. They don't actually advertise skin detection, but it works like that, so they get the extra half point. The OnePlus Buds 3 wearing detection also does this, but they get an extra point as they have a swipe gesture for volume up and down or track forward and back. Basically with this, you're going to be able to control everything: play, pause, track forward and back, ambient control, as well as volume up and down when using just one earbud. And since you can also use that swipe gesture to skip tracks forward and back, you have even more options. They would get a score of 10 if they had squeeze controls instead of touch, because sometimes going in for that swipe, I would accidentally activate the single tap if I misswiped, but this would rarely happen. Now, category 5 is connectivity. We've got a lot to cover here. First, let's start with the codecs you're getting. If you're looking for high res or lossless, Earphone, OnePlus, Redmi, Soundcore, and Soundpeats have either LDAC, LHDC, aptX Adaptive High Res, or aptX Lossless. Galaxy Buds FE sort of have high res with their Samsung scalable codec, only on Samsung devices of course, so they can stream at 24-bit 96 kHz, but they go just over 500 kilobits per second, where LDAC and aptX Adaptive are closer to 900 kilobits